So today I wanted to talk about what I believe one of the biggest challenges facing human beings, which is our ability or our incessant need to create hierarchies. And this is really brought to mind because a lot of people, only want to focus on racism, or they only want to focus on homophobia, or they only want to focus on xenophobia. So obviously we've been talking a lot about racism. We've been talking a lot about discrimination against women with the Me Too movement. We've been talking a lot about xenophobia and the discrimination against illegal immigrants with the basic internment camps that they've been, placed in while they were here. And I never want to talk about those things specifically, not because they don't exist. They clearly exist. But I feel like if we're ever, as a species, going to come to any sort of solution to this problem, we have to realize that all these different isms, all these different forms of discrimination are simply a symptom of a bigger issue facing human beings, which is we have hierarchical tendencies. So if you're in a situation where everybody is of the same race, then maybe you're going to notice things like gender or socioeconomic status. If you are among people that are of the same sexual orientation, you are more than likely going to notice other things. And I'm just thinking that it is a tendency among humans. And I believe that every group, every person that is oppressed also has the ability to be the oppressor. And it can be something as simple as, okay, yes, women are discriminated against, but within a group of women, you may find that the skinny ones discriminate against the fat ones, or the ones that are perceived to be pretty will discriminate against the ugly ones. Or you can be in a group of all men who, because of their male identity, may be seen as an oppressor in some situations, but those who have less money may be oppressed against. So I just honestly feel like the discussion always needs to go bigger. And whenever we just focus on one particular aspect of discrimination, I feel like we're missing out, on the bigger picture. And it's one of the things that's always frustrated me. I do know that as a black woman, if I'm in a discussion with other black people and we're talking about racism, if I bring up the fact that there is homophobia or gender discrimination within the African American movement, then, I'm automatically deemed as somebody that's not sympathetic to racism. No, it's not that. It's just that I want to really try to solve this problem, because I honestly believe that until we acknowledge what we as humans do, what all humans do, we're never going to get to a point where we can truly move to the next level. And I just always wonder, what do others, think about it? I personally believe that, like I said, we have multiple identities, and in some areas we are the oppressor, and in some areas we're the oppressed. So if every single human has the ability to experience oppression as well as oppressing, then that's one of the things that we all have in common. But we very rarely, when we talk about a group that has been victimized, if you ever bring up how individuals in that particular group can also victimize others, then people just get all up in arms. They're like, oh my God, you don't believe in this, or you don't believe in that, or, you're not a sympathizer. That's not it. That's not it at all. I just want to focus on the bigger picture. And maybe I'm wrong, and I'm really interested in seeing what other people, believe about this. But I know within my own personal life, there are some areas where I feel like I'm oppressed. There are some times that I feel oppressed as a black woman. But there are other times where I know I'm in, I can be an oppressor. For the most part, I did go, I have a gazillion different degrees. I have hundreds of $1,000s in student loans to prove it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like there are some situations where, I do experience the benefits of a particular part of my identity. And there are some areas where I don't even know how to say this, where my affiliation with a particular identity leaves me oppressed. Like, for example, I feel like, as someone that's been overweight, I have had shit talked to me by all types of people, men, women, white, black, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But then I know those same people that have made comments about me may also experience oppression in other areas. So I feel like we got to cut past all this bullshit and stop acting like there's one group that's always a victim, because it's just not the case. Within the gay community, you have divisions based on sexual orientation, or you have some people who feel like, there are certain people who are more gay than others, or who make the LGBT community look bad. Within the African American community, you see all types of divisions. Within any community, you're going to see division. So if everybody has the potential to be both the oppressed and the oppressor, what is the solution in terms of us learning how to deal with that? Do we just accept the fact that everyone has the potential to be both and we move forward from there? Or is the solution to continue to focus on each individual aspect of oppression and, try to move forward from there? But the crazy part about it is, every human being has somebody that they love. Every human being has the ability to love. We just tend to choose who we love. And I catch a lot of flack because, people say that, somebody like Trump, is heartless and he doesn't care about anybody. Yes, he does. He just happens to care about a group of people that may not necessarily be in your group. But I feel like if we focus on the fact that everybody has the potential to love, maybe we need to use that as a core and figure out what we need to do as a people to expand our definition or expand the boundaries of those that we love. I don't know. It's just something that, sits with me all the time. And it's something that bothers me when I watch the news or when I listen to some of the discussions on Facebook. And I've also, seen someone's response to degradation is to degrade the person who was degrading. So I'm like, if you're doing the same thing that you accuse somebody else of doing, then you're pretty much in the same category. If your response to dehumanization is to dehumanize another, then the dehumanization is still what stands out the most. It's still what's the most pervasive. I don't know. What are your thoughts?